Hello students, today we are going to start new lesson, that is Roman numerals. See, in 4th standard we had learned up to Roman numerals 1 to 100. Okay, and there we had learned how to write the Roman numerals from 1 to 100. There are some certain rules. In 5th standard now we are going to learn few higher numbers, or we can say the big numbers from Roman numerals. Okay, before that I would like to revise few things. Now see, in Roman numerals we are using symbols. Like in Hindu Arabic system we are using the digits from 0 to 9 to write the numbers. But in Roman numerals, with the help of few symbols, they are writing the numbers. Now, which are those symbols? So, the most important symbols in Roman numerals to write the numbers in Roman numerals are I, okay, V, X, I, V, X, L, C, D, and M. All Roman numerals are based on these symbols only: I, V, X, L, C, D, M, where I stands for 1, V stands for 5, X stands for 10, L stands for 50, C stands for 100, D stands for 500, and M stands for 1000. Okay. Based on these symbols, means we can write the Roman numerals. Whatever number we want, we can write. For writing, there are certain rules. Now we will learn what are those rules. Before that, in 4th standard, you might have learned I means 1, then how to write 2, I plus I, 2 times I means 2. Then 3, how to write 3 times I means 3. 4, how to write I, V, and 5 means only V. 6, how to write V, I. 7, how to write V, I. Okay. Then 8, how to write V and 3 times I. 9, how to write I, X, and 10 means only X. Okay. Now, as we are writing these numbers, we will understand their rules also. See here, 1 I means 1. 2 times I means 1 plus 1, 2. 3 times I means 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. Now 4 we would have, you people will say, now 4 how to write 4 times I. No. In Roman numerals, the first rule is, means in 4th standard whatever you have learned, that I am telling, I can be repeated, symbol I can be repeated only 3 times, up till 3 times, not more than 3 times. Got it? Only 3 times we can repeat I. Whereas X also, we can repeat only 3 times. Only I and X, these symbols we can repeat maximum times. And M, for we can write many times, more than 3 times also we can use symbol M. But only I and X are the symbols which we can repeat up till 3 times. Whereas V, L, C, D, V and L, these symbols are there, and D, you cannot repeat these symbols, which V, L and D, we cannot repeat. Once only we can write those symbols. Again, few rules means what? Now see, I, V. Now V is greater. V stands for 5. 5 is greater, and before means to the, now this is the left side. If we are writing smaller numeral to the left of the greater numeral, that time we have to subtract the smaller numeral from the greater one. Means when we write the smaller numeral to the left side, we have to subtract from the greater. So V, which is greater numeral? 5, V. And here 1 is the smaller. So 5 minus 1 we have to do, and it becomes 4. So whenever the smaller numeral we write to the left of the greater, we have to subtract the smaller from greater one. Now V, and now see 6, where VI, V means 5 plus 1, 6. Now here I added 1. Why? Because see, this smaller numeral is at the right side of the greater numeral. Means whenever, from this what do we understand? Whenever smaller numeral is to the right side of the greater numeral, in that case we have to do addition. And if it is to the right side or left side, we have to do subtraction. These are the rules what we had learned in 4th standard. And we had also learned from the rules how to write the numbers from 1 to 100. Now in the 5th standard we learned more new rules to write the another numbers. Now we will learn rules for writing Roman numerals here. First, repetition of Roman numeral means addition. A Roman numeral can be repeated up to 3 times only, not more than 3. For example, I, X and C can be repeated up to 3 times. As I showed you, 1, then 2 how to write? 2 times I. 3 how to write? 3 times I. Whereas X also we can repeat maximum 3 times. Now see, 1, 2 times I means 2, 3 times means we have to add. Repetition means addition. We are repeating means we are adding. 1 plus 1, 2. 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. X, 10. X, 2x means 20. 3 times x means 30. Then C. Which on the symbols we can repeat? I, X and C up to 3 times. So C. C means what? 100. 2 times C means 200. And 3 times C means 300. Okay? And M. Only M can be repeated more than 3 times. Now, what is the value of M? M means, M stands for 1000. Okay. 2 times M means we have to add 1000 plus 1000, 2000. 3 times M means 1000 plus 1000 plus 1000, that is 3000, and so on. Means not 3 times, we can write more times. See, M can be repeated more than 3 times. So M stands for 1000, M 2000, M 3 times M is 3000, 4 times M is 4000, and so on. Okay. Now second rule is symbols V, L and D cannot be repeated. Like symbol I, X, C. Okay. How we can repeat those symbols? In first rule we have seen. In this way, in second rule is symbol V, L and D cannot be repeated. Means, so V, you cannot write. You will say 5 plus 5, 10. No, we cannot repeat. Similarly, L and D also. So, V, L and D cannot be repeated. Next, important another rule is a smaller numeral written after a larger numeral is always added to the larger numeral. Earlier also in introduction I had explained it. See the meaning of this. Now see L and X examples I am giving. L stands for 50. X stands for 10. Now L is greater and X is smaller. Now where X is appearing, see, X is appearing after larger number to the, that is to the right side. When smaller number is appearing after a larger number, that time we have to add that number into the larger number. Means 50 plus 10 addition we have to do, and it will give 50 plus 10 will give 60. Another example, see, CL, whereas C stands for 100 and L stands for 50. Now 50 is smaller than 100, correct? And L appears after larger number, that is C. So we have to add 50 in 100. So it becomes 150. Now one more example I will show you. See here, X and I. Whereas X stands for 10, I stands for 1. So what we have to do? Now 1 appear after X, that is after larger number. So it will get added in the larger number. That is 10 plus 1 is equal to 11 it will become. So understood? The next third rule of the Roman numeral. Next rule, a smaller numeral written to the left of a larger numeral is always subtracted from the larger numeral. It is just opposite of the third rule. Now when the smaller numeral is written after the larger numeral, that time we have to add. Now if the smaller numeral is written before the larger numeral, then that case we have to subtract. Okay. So means what? See, for example, XC. C stands for 100. X stands for 10. Now see, X is written before C. That is before greater number. Means we have to subtract 10 from 100. So 100 minus 10 is 90. So how to write 90? XC. Next one, XL. L stands for 50. X stands for 10. So 50 minus 10 is equal to 40. Because here X is written before larger number. Next, CD. D stands for 500. C stands for 100. So 500 minus 100 is equal to 400. This is the fourth rule. Now next rule is a smaller numeral placed between two larger numerals is always subtracted from the larger numeral following it. Means what? Now see, these are two larger numerals and between these one smaller numeral is there, correct? See, a smaller numeral placed between two larger numerals, okay, is always subtracted from the larger numeral following it. Now this is the smaller numeral and which larger numeral following it? This C, correct? So what we have to do? This is 100. After this plus, what we have to do? We have to subtract this 10 from 100. So 100 plus 100 minus 10 is 90 and 100 plus 90 is 190. So CXC means what? 190. Okay. Another example, see one more example. XIV. Now X10, V means 5. Now these are the larger symbol and I, 1, which is smaller than these two and it is placed in between. So what we have to do? We have to subtract this 1 from the larger numeral following it. Now which number following? This V, correct? So 5 minus 1 is 4. So how to write? 10 plus 5 minus 1. That is 10 plus 4 and 10 plus 4 is 14. So what is this number? 10 plus 4 is 14. Here see XIX. Now XX larger numerals. So what we have to do? 10, it means 10 plus IX means what we have to do? From 10 subtract 1. That is 10 plus 9 is equal to 19. So understood this rule? Now, next rule, sixth one. 10x, x means 10. X can be subtracted from L and C only once. L means 50, C means 100. Means x, which stands for 10, we can subtract only one time from L and C. For example, see, XL means L means 50. Now see where x appears before larger number. That means we have to subtract. So 50 minus 10 is equal to 40. And XC, again see 10, x stands before larger number. That means again we have to subtract as per the previous rule. So 100 minus 10 is equal to 90. Okay, this is the sixth rule. Now next rule is C can be subtracted from D and M only once, like sixth rule. Okay, C stands for 100, D stands for 500 and M stands for 1000. So we can subtract C, that is 100, only once from D and M. For example, CD. So see, D means 500. C is before D. That means we have to subtract. So 500 minus 100, 400. So how to write 400? CD. And CM, M stands for 1000, C stands for 100. So 1000 minus 100 is equal to 900. And now, most important rule, rule number 8, that is the symbol, this is the bar, okay? This line is called a bar. If it is placed over a numeral, the value of numeral is multiplied by 1000. Okay. So now see examples based on last rule. Now V, and I have put bar over V. So its value will increase 1000 times. V means 5. 5000 times means we have to multiply it by 1000. So it becomes 5 into 1000, that is 5000. Now, but again another example it is given. X bar CD XXV stands for which number? So X means 10. Bar is there over it. So 10 we have to multiply by 1000. Plus CD. Now see, D is the larger number and C is written before larger number. So we have to subtract 100 from 500. So 500 minus 100 plus X means 10 plus 10 and V means 5. That is plus 10 plus 10 plus 5. So 1000 minus 10 into 1000 is 10,000 plus 500 minus 100 is 400 and plus 10 plus 10 20 plus 5 25. So what is the number? 10,425. So how to write 10,425 in Roman numeral? X bar CD XX V.